Another day, another set of crappy laptops that I paid money for and probably shouldn't have. Although this one's interesting. It's the first time I've ever actually seen one of these at the thrift store. We're going to focus on this one a little bit later. It's actually missing some of oh, it's missing all of the screws in the bottom. Huh, I can't believe I didn't notice that before. Yeah, they are all missing. Well, that definitely fills one with confidence. Anyway, we'll start with the least interesting of the two. And that is this HP thing. Less money. You can see this thing is supremely dirty. I'm not sure the camera is actually able to pick up just how completely brown this thing is. It's just completely scungy. Windows 7 license, which is worn completely off. I have a feeling that this is missing the hard drive and the RAM, and potentially more than that. Let me see if I can get my screwdrivers. You see that some of these, well, you probably can't see, but some of these doors are popping off. This should be for the RAM, which I bet is missing. Of course, then the camcorder battery decides to die. I'm using the JVC camera. I think the batteries on these are finally starting to wear out. The RAM is missing. I don't know that I actually have any. I should. It's DDR3. I think I've got some of that still sitting around. But I'm not sure. I'm also pretty positive it's missing the hard drive. Oh, that's broken. Yeah, hard drive is missing. It does have the wireless card, though. And the good news is that the hard drive bay is not completely proprietary. But I think before I really go further, I'm going to have to find some RAM. So give me a few minutes and I'll see if I can dig something up. Believe it or not, I did find one stick of DDR3. Well, actually two of them, but they're different speeds. So I don't know that they'll work. Okay. So we'll put that in place. I'm not even going to put the cover on. I'm sure the battery is toast. Yeah. So I'm going to have to find a power supply now. That might be entertaining. Okay, let's see. There. There's no light. Oh, yeah, there is on the front there. I hit the power button and it turned off immediately. Yeah, I don't know about that. This might be toast. Okay. Can I try pulling the battery? If I pull that out. That's an aftermarket battery. Yeah, I think my camcorder is going to die before I actually got this thing working. Oh, now it doesn't power on at all. Okay. Interesting. So I don't know what to do with that. What to think about that. Because I'm gonna let it sit there and try and charge for a little bit. I think that's what I'll do. Well, would you look at that? It's running. No thanks to the battery, though, I had to change the power brick. Apparently it won't run from a Dell power brick, which I think is kind of stupid because they're identical. I know that the Dells will piss and moan about the fact you're using an HP brick, but I know I've powered HPs from Dell bricks before, so I don't know why this one didn't work. It's just some really crappy Pentium dual core, though. I didn't even really pay attention too much to the specs. Yeah, it's a piece of crap. Okay, so forget the stupid camcorder. I guess we're just going to use this thing, which is also a camcorder. But anyway, go to boot options, boot order. It doesn't really tell me. I don't think there's a hard drive, though. So I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to the network. Plug in the network cable if everything doesn't decide to fall over and be stupid. Here's the stupid Ethernet jack on this piece of gunk. It does have one, right? Yeah, it should be right here. Let's see if it'll actually boot to the network, or if I gotta do some work. Please install an operating system. Yeah. Oh, there's no control key. Guess we've lost control. It doesn't want to PXE boot for some reason. I hit escape. What more do you want? Boot device. Is it not enabled? F10 for the BIOS. Boot options. Internal, yeah. Turn that on, please. Thank you. Let's try that. That way I can at least boot something on this piece of garbage. Oh god, Realtek? I mean, it should work, right? Let's just grab a Linux distribution. To save myself a little bit of time, I'm going for 32-bit. So we'll let that load. Alright. I can't install because there's no hard drive. Not that it matters. I don't think I'm keeping this machine because I think it's just kind of worthless. But it's running. Just see how well it watches YouTube. Probably not very well at all. Is the battery actually taking a charge? 1.0%. Yeah, it's lost about 11 watt hours. 5.5 hours till full. I might see if it'll actually bring the battery completely up. I don't know if YouTube will even work because the browser is so out of date. Could I even do that on here? Okay. I updated Firefox. Let's see if that actually helped. Yeah, well, you can go to YouTube now. The site still seems a little broken, and it's not fast, but it will at least load. I don't know. I guess the performance isn't too bad. That's not a terrible machine. But it's not great either. I'll just grab a video and see if it'll play the ad. Turn that off. Sort of. It'll sort of play the ad. I was kind of curious. I don't really care about that. If it'll play high definition. Why is it... Okay, the website is just completely and utterly broken. I'll turn that off. So it's not playing sound, so I can at least try and get this. 1080p 60. And we'll make it full screen. No, I don't think it's possible to play. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's working. Yeah, 1080p doesn't work, so that's not a thing. It's trying. It's really trying, but it can't do it. So... not a great experience, but it works, I guess. There's not much else you can really say about it. Like I said, I'm probably not going to hang on to it. It thinks it's April 3rd. Of what calendar year? This calendar year. Oh, probably because it's not daylight savings time, it's UTC and all that. So, we're going to shut this down. And I'll take a look at the Chromebook. I don't know if I'm going to power on the Chromebook in this video because, as it turns out, I don't actually have a power supply that'll work with it. Alright, this Chromebook. This is... what is this? Where's the thing on this? Acer C740 series. Is the model. Manufactured in 2015. Sobering thought is that was more than 10 years ago. Well, we've determined that there's no screws in the bottom of this thing, so we can just do that. I don't know what was supposed to be right here, but whatever it was, it's gone. Probably our storage. And there's no way I've got something for that. But taking a look, it doesn't appear that there are any other major issues. But yeah, the fact that this is missing might put the brakes on my doing anything else with this, because that's probably MSATA, if I had to guess. And I definitely don't have any more MSATA drives, and those are expensive. Of course, I was always under the impression that a Chromebook didn't need any of that it had local storage. Well, sorry, it was mostly cloud storage, but I guess it would have to have some kind of local storage, because the OS has to run off of something. I don't know. And the problem with this, as it stands right now, is that I don't have the power supply or any way to power the machine, because the power jack looks like that. And I don't really have anything that's going to fit that, as far as I know. Like, the only thing I could maybe think about is one of the Macintosh PowerBook power supplies. Like, would the PowerBook 190 supply fit that? And if so, is it the right voltage and pinout? I really kind of doubt it. Alright, so back to this Chromebook thing, which, as we discovered, is missing the SSD. I actually did go ahead and get a power supply for it. So I have a power adapter. That wasn't cheap either, which is why I didn't really want to do this, but I am kind of curious if this works, and even I guess if it doesn't, the power supply might come in handy for something else. So let's see, plug it in. I have two lights. They just went out, and they just turned back on. And I don't see anything on the screen. Actually, hold on a minute. I do kind of see something on the screen, but there's no backlight. So let me get a flashlight here. And we'll just take a look. Yep, there is something on the screen. I don't know that you'll actually be able to see it. Yeah, there you go. You can see it there. No, I don't want. Stupid. You can see it. There is definitely something there. So I guess I'm taking this apart and seeing if there's something I can do for it. Probably not. The battery is toast, because it says that it's fully charged, and there's absolutely no way it's fully charged because I just plugged it in. Yeah, see? It turns immediately off. So the battery's garbage. Now, how does this display come apart? Good question. It's a very good question. I guess just like this. It seems to just be like this. This feels very reassuring in the hand, by the way. Be just completely tearing apart a screen like this. Now, if I break it, I break it. Who cares? I mean, at this point, what do I have to lose? Let's see. How do I get this? How am I going to get that apart? I don't know how these are supposed to come apart. You're probably supposed to use a plastic tool to do this. I don't have a plastic tool, so I guess we're not doing that kind. So we'll just use a small flat blade screwdriver. How is that supposed to come off? I think I'm bending this plastic and it's just not working. There we go. There's screws on the back of it. I mean, that's quality. Why would you design it like that? It's a stupid design. Okay, so now what? How do I get this? Because what I want to check is I want to check the connector on the back of the display there. Just make sure that it's not loose, because I've heard that's a common problem on some models of Chromebooks. I think screws do I need to remove? Hopefully not all of them. I'm going to start with the 4 here. If the display is toast, like if there's actually a backlight problem, then that's pretty much going to be the end of the line, probably for this. Because to put a display in this is probably going to run me, well, at least as much as I paid for that power supply, if not more. And so by the time I factored that in, plus the SSD, which I actually found out, I thought it was mSATA. It's not mSATA, because this is mSATA, this isn't going to plug in. It's also not NVMe, because I tried one of those. Where did it go? I had it just 2 seconds ago. This isn't going to fit in there anyway, but I tried this and the keying is wrong. You try putting it in this way, it doesn't fit, and this way you can't even go in at all because the key's in the wrong place. So, at this point, I'd have to get another drive. Doing a little bit of research, apparently this uses what's called an NGFF SSD. I don't know, I've never heard of it either. That makes sense. Oops. Okay, taking a look here. It's not very promising. Looks like that connector is actually in place. Let me go ahead and see if I can lift up this plastic so that way I can at least try and get to this. Why would you attach something like this? It's just an awful design pretty much all around. Well, it's loose now, that's for sure. I probably just busted it. This is a... Again, I don't really swear often in my videos. This is a really shitty design. It really is. This is just... Why... Maybe it was loose. Let's try that. See what happens. I just completely reseated it. Where's the power supply? Give me the power supply. So I'll plug that in. It's on. And hey, backlight. Look at that. Huzzah! Chrome OS is missing or damaged. Nah, really? Okay, well let me put the screws back in that and I'll see if I can get that back together. And maybe I'll try and build a Chrome OS, what do you call that? A recovery USB like it's asking for. I don't know that it's going to work because I'm pretty sure that it doesn't really make sense to me that it would work without a drive. But maybe it would. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Alright, USB stick. Let's see what it does. Got a blank screen. You are about to recover your computer. Please make sure it's plugged into the power source. Well, that's the only way it's going to run. It is safe to do this at any time during verification. That is to say, cancel it and turn it off. Verifying integrity. Let's see how long it takes to verify integrity. Try to move the camera a little bit closer to the screen here. I'm not really sure that helped much for the readability on this. This is probably not a great video, but you know what? I don't really care. Oops, an unexpected error has occurred. Well, probably because there's no drive. So I guess before I can really do anything with this, I'm going to have to get a drive. And I guess I'm going to save that for just a future video because, well, I don't have a drive. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a drive because mSATA is not going to work and an NVMe is not going to work either. So I'll just have to see if I can find a disc, put a disc in it, see if it'll turn it off. No, I'm going to have to turn it off like this. If it will actually turn off. Okay, there it goes. So, future project, I guess, but at least it's not a complete lost cause, I suppose.